Now, welcome to another edition of Battle of the Heroes and Villains, where this time we'll be taking a look at the results of the poll for Rey. We'll then compare those results to all the other characters we've done thus far, before I then read and respond to some of your comments. But before getting to any and all of that, you can already nominate or vote for which character we do next. Just head down and respond to my pinned comment below with a character name, or vote with a thumbs up if the one you'd like to see is already there. Whichever comment or character gets the most votes in the next 24 hours or so will be the winner and the character we do next. Okay, so let's now get to the results for Rey, where we'll see that 41% of the some 65,000 people who voted gave Rey an F. 24% then thought she was a D tier character, another 25% gave her a C, which left 7% to give her a B, and a final 2% to give her an A. Which means when we do all the math here and consider A score of 5 and F a score of 1, and also because this one only added up to 99% because of the way things get rounded off, I added an extra percentage point into the C or average ranking. Anyway, all that said, Rey ends up with an average score of 2.05, which puts her into last place overall. And before even getting into it, yes, the results of the poll are no doubt skewed to some degree, and we can debate how much, because I am certainly not the most pro-sequel Star Wars trilogy channel out there, which means those who watch my videos are more likely to share my opinion. Nevertheless, these are some pretty sad results for Rey, and I know, and I certainly saw a few saying things like this in the comments, that some will try to make the argument that everyone just hates Rey for one reason or another, and usually not good reasons. However, despite the results, the narrative in the comments actually, in a way at least, didn't support that so much, that she was just hated and that was that. And like with a lot of polls that I do, I tried to read each and every single comment. However, with there being over 4,000 of them this time, at one point, after having read for about 3 hours, I'd say, I tried to scroll down, but the web page just wasn't having it anymore, and it refused to load any more comments. And so I just sort of decided to call it right there and then. Anyway, I did read through a vast majority of them, or so I think, and several common themes kept being repeated over and over again, especially these ones which were touched upon in the top rated comment, which came to us from Savage Sentinel, who said, "She's the worst example of a hero's journey I have ever seen. F for me, man. Star Wars and Daisy deserve better." And honestly, I can't even tell you how many comments said something very similar to this one, and I'll no doubt be reading some of them as we go on here, that yes, her story or hero's journey was poorly executed, but that they feel bad for Daisy Ridley and all the other actors involved. That again, they and Star Wars and the fans all just deserved better than the story that we got that was pulled in two different directions by two different teams of writers and or directors with different ideas or visions for the story, that there was clearly no overall game plan laid out beforehand. And look, I'm not going to lie, there was certainly some genuine hate for the character, and I stress the word character in the comments, but nowhere near as much as I think some might expect or want to believe there'd be, or that you'd think there'd be, again, based on the number of Ds and Fs given out here. Instead, most people were very civil and just gave off the sense of disappointment, that any and all anger they once may have had over the sequels and this character has morphed into this feeling of sadness or regret over what might have been. Which is part of the reason why, and it's shameless plug time, that I'm writing my own version of the sequel trilogy, that along with a rather large team of artists, animators, voice actors, sound designers, a composer, and many others, that we're making our own version of the sequel trilogy, and hopefully in the next week or so, we'll be putting out a teaser trailer for our episode 7, and likely putting a call out for a few more people to help, mainly talented artists, to join us and to speed up the process just a bit. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand, and to this comment from Avery76, who said, "She had potential to be a great character. That's all I'll say. C from me." Then this one from Blake Davison, who said, "She had lots and lots of potential. I seriously do mean that. She could have been awesome, but her lack of development and lack of anything really compelling was her downfall. To this day, I still say she should have fallen to the dark side in The Last Jedi, giving her a truly unique character arc. But Disney wanted her to be perfect, and this made her less relatable. In summary, to be honest, I don't hate Rey at all, but there could have been so much more." We also had this one from Star Commander who said, "I'm giving her a D rating. She had potential to be an interesting character, but like so many others in the sequel trilogy, that potential was squandered. I truly find it baffling that Lucasfilm didn't take the time to plan out the story of their next big hero. On top of having a rushed and incoherent story arc, she was written as a Mary Sue. She's instantly loved by everyone, and has everything handed to her on a silver platter. She never struggles, so all the tension is lost. She's not a character, she's a bore." Also got this comment from Jade David who said, "Better directors could have made her a better character. I still liked bits and pieces of her story, thought there were some things they should have honed in on just a little better, and they should have had a better story to end it for Finn. I give her a C." We also have this comment from Weapon N Browning who said, "Rey had a real strong start for me. She was intriguing and mysterious, yet enjoyable to watch, although anything after The Force Awakens gets messy. They try to take the character in many different directions that weren't the original idea. This character is like most new characters in the sequel trilogy. They start out with a strong concept, and then the writers forget to plan out their character arcs. Honestly, that's a flaw with the sequels as a whole. Nothing is planned out successfully." And these thoughts or sentiments were echoed by so many people in the comments, that there was so much potential wasted and that Rey actually had a really good, if not great, introduction in The Force Awakens. I mean, I've said it before myself, and I'll repeat it again here. I actually think she had a damn near perfect introduction. You immediately get a sense of loneliness yet self-reliance, which, in my opinion, sets up a character that, yes, seeks belonging, wants to find her place, but has a very hard time trusting after a lifetime of only looking out for herself. Yet we never see her even once struggle with trust issues. Instead, she befriends everyone she comes across almost immediately, and days after watching Kylo Ren murder his own father and almost kill her best friend, she's running headlong into the lair of the enemy, thinking she can save him and change him because of a kinship she suddenly feels with him. And look, I get it, she's supposed to be inherently good and they want to show that. Most heroes are inherently good. And if that's the angle you want to play, that's fine, I'm cool with that. But then make her pay some sort of price for that trust she places in others so willingly, especially when that trust is perhaps misplaced like it was with Kylo, though she ultimately is going to be right about him. Instead of just giving her a scratch on the arm and making her feel bad about not being able to save Kylo when she foolishly went after him in Episode 8, and then having her still save the day for the Resistance after this dumb mistake, have her not get to the Resistance in time to save them. Have her get there just a little too late, and let it be Finn that gives his life at the Battle of Crate, like he was about to anyway, which ends up buying the Resistance the time they need to escape and saving everyone, and then have Rey put that, Finn's death, on herself. Make her feel like she picked Kylo over Finn. Alright, and moving on now, we have this comment from Guinevere Sunlight Blade who said, "I give her an F. As a woman, I find Rey's character, or lack thereof, incredibly boring. I have zero interest in a Mary Sue. I don't want to watch someone who's perfect at everything with zero character growth. The saddest part is that Disney made her friends look like incompetent morons just to make her seem stronger. Give me Anakin anytime, who was a fully fleshed out character with flaws, who made many bad decisions, and ultimately lost everything in the end, which is quite tragic thinking about it. Nuff said." Okay, so I can understand the desire by Disney and Lucasfilm to create a truly iconic female lead character in Star Wars. Not that there aren't plenty of great female characters in the franchise already. I get that's what they wanted to do going into this trilogy, and I don't blame them for that desire per se. Like a lot of people, I'm not only fine with it, but in favor of it. I mean, why shouldn't the next big-time iconic hero of Star Wars be a female character? But I do think there was so much focus on making her that, so much focus on making her this, I don't know, shining beacon of hope or example of greatness to women and girls everywhere, that there was almost a fear to show her be weak from time to time and to truly fail or to make some really dumb, costly decisions. I mean, no, I don't think she's 100% perfect or anything. She does have some flaws and make some errors, don't get me wrong. But, and forgive me if this sounds insensitive or anything, but we always hear about how women and girls are scrutinized more or have higher standards they're expected to live up to in our society. There's this belief, true or not, that women are supposed to be perfect. And so with this character, you'd think there'd almost be an idea to debunk this crazy notion, to go out of their way to show that she has lots of flaws, that she makes lots of mistakes, but that it's okay and that she can overcome them. I don't know, I'm probably not articulating what I want to say here very well, but I think a better approach for the character would have been to show her, like all human beings are, that she isn't perfect or anything really close to it, but that she doesn't have to be, that it's okay to have flaws, insecurities, and to make mistakes, and that what separates the heroes from the rest of us is the courage to face our fears and our mistakes and to move beyond them. To me, it's strange to have this character who doesn't make many mistakes, who learns very quickly, and even when she does screw up, there are usually no lasting consequences to deal with, and anything to really overcome mentally. Okay, and now I'm just going to read off a few final comments here, including some of the more positive ones, though to be honest with you, I didn't come across a single one that really just flat out praises and or defends Rey. Now, I'm not saying no one left any like that. Maybe one of those is in those comments I didn't get to read, or that no one likes Rey or thinks she's a great character. But to be 100% honest, I didn't really find any that went out of their way to really, again, praise the character. Alright, and our first of the last then is going to be this one from Adiel Garcia, who said, I know this is controversial, but an A. I'm aware that she's a Mary Sue and OP, but the themes in her story speak to me. Finding your place and identity despite where you come from says a lot to me. Also, Daisy Ridley does a fantastic performance. And then we have this one from Benjamin Terry, who said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's the legacy of the sequel trilogy. Nowhere is that more apparent than the wasted potential of Rey. Also had this one from Blank Dark, who said, Rey is a character without identity. She was too perfect from the beginning, and the end she remained just as perfect, if not more so. Also had this one from Communist Caesar, who said, I liked the idea that a hero can come from nothing. In my opinion, Rian Johnson did a phenomenal job with Rey in The Last Jedi. Her realizing that she's nothing special and is just a nobody was pretty interesting. However, in Episode 9, her only interesting character trait was taken because she was revealed as a Palpatine. If they would have went with Ryan's plan, she would have been a solid B, but since they didn't, I think she deserves a D. Then we had this one from Creep Sweeper 8, who simply said, like all characters in the sequels, she had good potential but not well executed. Then this comment from Darth Revan, who said, she's good in the sense that she's likable and has great chemistry with every other character, but her progression and arc is just a mess. Not nearly as much thought put into it as Luke or Anakin's respective stories. Could have been great if Lucasfilm at least tried to plan ahead. Next up here then we have this one from Catherine Solomon, who said, D. I feel like Daisy Ridley did the best she could with what she had, but if they, Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and Rian Johnson, had a clear vision going into the trilogy of how she would start, change, and end, it would have been much better. In a way, I think J.J. squeezed a whole trilogy worth of development into one movie, The Force Awakens. She started out as a scavenger, became aware of her Force abilities, became as strong as her main foe, Kylo Ren, and bested him all in one movie. If that was spread throughout the whole trilogy, I would have been much more invested. Every moment after The Force Awakens, I was just like, well, she already beat Kylo, she can just fight him again and kill him. That being said, I liked the concept. It was kind of a copy and paste from Anakin and Luke, sure, but it was following a formula that I think could have worked if there was more planning. Okay, and before getting to the final comment, I just wanted to quickly highlight 3 comments that were good, but a little bit on the long side. So feel free to pause the video and, assuming the text isn't too small on your screen, to give them a read. Either way, let me just say thanks to Benjamin Huther, Liam Thompson, and Stephen Turner for taking the time to write out these great, well thought out remarks that again were just a bit on the long side. Also, just let me take a quick moment to thank everyone who left a comment this week, and apologize that there are so many good ones that there just really isn't time for. Alright, and before I lose my voice, sorry if it's cracking quite a bit here, let's get to the final comment that comes to us from Blackout CT5864, who said, it's sad that the comments about the main character of a Star Wars trilogy are mostly, she had potential but it was wasted, well the acting was good, I guess there's worse, Star Wars deserves better, cool theme music, she didn't get an arc, bland and uninteresting Mary Sue, well she's got a pretty cool yellow saber, just here to promote an agenda, basically a plot device, not even a character, a lot of potential but nothing good in the end. That's pretty sad. Star Wars deserved a better main character than this bland piece of weak old toast. And that really did sum up pretty much all of the comments this week. And look, if you like Rey and you like her story and you think she's a great character and you relate to her and all of that, I think that's awesome. I really do. I'm happy that there are some people out there who genuinely do enjoy both the character and the sequels in general. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean I have to hate you or you have to hate me, or that we have to think less of each other or anything like that. Even among Star Wars fans, we're all going to like different parts of it for different reasons, and that's fine. But like a lot of people that left comments this time, I'm just feeling this sense of disappointment. This could have and should have been so much more. There was potential here. And some really talented actors, including Daisy Ridley, were wasted or the victims of some really bad planning, or lack thereof, I should say. Which is all just such a shame. Well, that's all I've got for you this time. Now it's your turn to tell me what you think of Rey, or what I or anyone else had to say about her in this video. You can also feel free to nominate and or vote for which character we should do next. Either way, leave a comment below and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.